Okay, so in the past, we were discussing about this type of equations, del u del t plus a del u del x equals to 0. This type of equations we have seen. Also, in many occasions, we have seen this type of equations also. I'm just using some another variable u, uh, which was equals to some coefficient and like this nature u upon del x square. Okay. Now, what is difference between these two equations? In this equation, we have this transient term. Here also we have this transient term. Transient means which is having a time derivative. This time derivative term is there. Okay, here also time derivative. So this is like a temporal acceleration. And here you see this particular term, this second term is called as convection term. Okay. Now, why this is called as convection term is that this particular entity del u by del x, the gradient of u in x direction is moving with this velocity a. Suppose there is a velocity in this direction. In this direction, that gradient is moving with that velocity a. Now, in this equation, this particular term convection is missing. However, there is another term called as diffusion. Okay. So diffusion which occurs due to the molecular interaction. Here there is a bulk movement of the particles, you can say. So there is a bulk movement. So there is a bulk flow of the fluid. Here there is an interaction between the fluid and they exchange that particular property. Okay, if this is a velocity, momentum will be exchanged. So there is a diffusion of momentum in that direction. Okay, this is any coefficient. This is not this is, don't misunderstand the alpha. This can be any coefficient. You can say gamma. Okay. So in many problems, okay, many fluid flow problems, you will have a combination of these two. Okay. Now say, for example, now if you are removing this variable and say you are saying that u is nothing but temperature. So what this is showing it to you is suppose T is a temperature variable, then the transient or local change of temperature within a domain, so locally changing with time, advection of the gradient of temperature in the x direction. Say it is x direction, so let us the x component of the velocity with which it is moving, and here this is a diffusion equation which is essentially for a solid kind of domain. Okay, solid domain or the fluid domain where there is no motion, there is no velocity. If there is no velocity, u is equals to 0. In this case, how the temperature is locally changing as well as how the temperature is spatially changing. That is what shown by this equation. Okay. So, but in reality, this you can be you can be greater than equals to 0 or you can be less than equals to 0. Okay. So that is also possible. So less than 0 and greater than 0 conditions are possible. U is equals to 0 condition is also possible. So the reality in case of suppose you have a real problem, then in this real problem there can be a temporal evolution of the temperature. Okay, there can be a convection due to the velocity present. So there can be a convection of this del t by del x with u, and there can be a diffusion term in a 1D direction. Okay, so this is only for 1D. This is for 1D. For 2D, you can have, for 2D you can have del t plus u del t del x plus, then it is v in the v direction, the gradient of t with y in v direction. Similarly, for 3D problem, it can be gradient of t in j direction with w velocity, and this should be equals to alpha, and the diffusion in the x direction and the diffusion in the y direction and the diffusion in the z direction. Okay, so this is how you see a appropriate equation for a real conduction problem, real heat transfer problem, where you have this convection, you have this convection, and you have this called as conduction. Any other mode of heat transfer then can be added, as a Q radiation can be added, and its value, the appropriate equation will give the complete heat transfer equation, where you will have a convection, conduction, radiation heat transfer modes. Okay, so if you want to solve this equation, what should be to solve this equation, there is a t variable. Okay, now there are other variables like u, v, and w. They are coming into picture. Okay, these are coming into the picture. These are called as flow variables, fluid flow variables. And to solve this equation, these variables must be known. Okay, if these are known, then this becomes coefficients only, some values, and then you can solve this equation easily. Like alpha, it should be this u, v, w should be known, and then only you will be in a position to solve this equation. Okay, so the question now comes is how to get this UVW. If it is not given, it has to found out from the fluid flow problem. Okay, so that will be our next target, to see how we can model the how to solve the fluid flow problem, so that you can get the velocity UVW. Okay, so in the next target will be, our target in the coming lectures will be to find out, will be to find UVW. Okay, and then once you know UVW, the similar methods can be used, and this equation can be solved independently or in a coupled manner, and you can get the values of T. So the question comes how to find out the value of UVW. So that will be our target in the coming lectures. Okay. So these are for fluid flow problems. These are fluid flow, okay, variables. if they are not given. In the previous cases, they were assumed to be given. U was given, either it could have been given U was given as a positive or U was given as negative. Okay, these two conditions were there when U was positive and U was negative. Now, before embarking on solving this fluid flow problem, let us consider this example, and let us combine these two problems which we have already seen uh, previously, and try to solve these equations. Del u by del x is equals to some constant alpha d2 t dx square. Now suppose this 1D equation is there and you have some boundary conditions and things like that, and then how would you would like to proceed? Now in this case you will have to either know the value of u. Okay, so let in this situation u is given and u is given as positive value. Okay, and its value is given as 1. Okay, so in that case this particular problem will be solvable. Okay, now if u is given and which is greater than 0, then what will be the how to discretize? So in the discretization, either you can discretize explicitly. Okay, there can be explicit discretization, or you can discretize implicitly, right? Implicitly. So in case of explicit, if you are doing by explicit means, how it will look like. So I'll just try to show here. So once you are doing explicitly, this particular equation will become like this. So this t minus t, now we are at I index for x direction, and this is n plus 1 and n and delta t, and we know now this value 1. So let it be, we although we know, let it be. Now how will discretize this dt dx I? What method will you use? Will you go for a backward difference or will you go for a forward difference? Since u is a positive,
Backward.
you have to go for the backward difference. Okay, so what was the backward difference? T I minus 1 minus T I divided by delta H. Okay, and for this particular case, what is the discretization? You know that minus 2t plus t. What is that? I minus 1 ti I plus 1 divided by delta x square, right? What
Sir,
is the huh?
sir, why did you use a backspace, sir? Then
Now here when you are considering this problem of I, the information is coming from left. Okay, since this is your x direction, information is coming from left, but you are looking at this point, but information is coming from this point, so you have to consider this. If information is coming from this point, then you have to consider this I plus 1. So if u is positive, then it is moving in the x positive direction, so you have to consider I minus 1 I, that is backward difference. And if u is negative, u is less than 0, u is greater than 0, u is less than 0, then you have to use this difference. Okay, that you have to understand, because here the information is known. From known information you are calculating unknown information. This is unknown information, this is a known information. If u is greater than 0, if u is less than 0, this is known information, this is unknown. Okay, so that you have to consider here. So this is for u greater than 0. Okay, if it is u less than 0, then this equation will become n plus 1 n delta t plus u ti minus t ti plus 1 divided by delta x alpha ti minus 1 minus 2t I plus ti plus 1 delta x. This will be u less than 0. Now here, since you are considering explicit method, all your time index will be known values, right? All previous values, all temperature values should be previous values.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
So shouldn't it be Ti minus 1
Where?
in the first equation?
Oh, you can take that. You can take that. Ti. Yeah, yeah. So what is convention is you have to take the value and then the back value. That is like that. Okay. Just a minute. Okay. So here this n, index n, you can take index n based on the scheme. Okay. If it is this n explicit, this can be n plus 1 if it is the implicit. Okay. So if it is explicit, then the problem is simple. If it is explicit, then for one case, you can, for this case, you can simply calculate Ti n plus 1 uh, with all these known values, u delta t uh, and this first value plus this alpha and plus Ti. Okay. So you can substitute these values and get the values for this. Now for this also same thing. Okay. But here based on the sign, based on the sign of this u, either you take this or this. Okay. So if you are solving a problem where you do not know the magnitude of this, where you do not know the magnitude of this particular variable, in that case, then what you should do? Okay. So in that case, you will have to look out for a proper value of del u by del x, proper value of del u by del x that can be substituted, that can be used there in order to get the solution. Okay. So I'll make it that. Can you give me some light on that? Just an idea. So that you will have to do little in terms of programming way. Okay. When you want to add these terms in your equation, you will have to be careful in terms of, excuse me, programming way. Okay. So you'll have to check the values, check the magnitude of, check the magnitude of uh, u. Okay. So say for example, here suppose you want to solve this particular term. So what will say that this, suppose this particular term is a. Okay. So here you will check the condition. If u is greater than 0, then a will be equals to calculated. Okay, like this. Else a is equals to this. Okay, and you will substitute here. So you will get, according to the sign of the u, you will simply get this. Okay. So let me just take one some hypothetical case. Hypothetical case is say u is 1 and delta x is 0.2. Okay, and alpha is given, say it is 1. Okay, I am not writing units, and total length is 1 meter, or I'm just writing a non-dimensional way. And total time for which you have to do this simulation is 3. Okay, I'll proceed for this particular problem. Now these are the given things, and you have been asked to find out these values, find out this. You want to use this equation. So you know the dt value, you know this dt value, delta t value, sorry. You know the alpha now. Dt is not known, isn't it? Dt is not known. Dt is not given here. So it is not known. Delta x is given. This is given. Alpha is given. That is there. So how do you know the delta t? How do you know the delta t?
Stability condition.
Yeah, delta t has to be calculated. Delta t calculated from stability criteria. And that stability criteria, what does it say? C delta t, delta x should be less than equals to 1. So we consider the case of equals to 1, and uh, we we find out delta t, delta x, delta t. Now what is a c here? Here c is nothing but u. Okay, this u, this u. So u delta t, delta x. So this will give you the delta t. Okay. What is delta x? Delta x is 0.2 divided by u is 1. So your delta t is 0.2. Okay. Now how many n should be there? This is n at n is equals to 0, delta t is equals to 0.2. Then at n is equals to 1, what will be the delta t? What will be the t? I mean, I'm just asking, t will be, what are t is equal n? This is t is equals to 0. T plus delta t means okay. So this is you are moving at 0.2. So likewise, you will keep on moving to t. So t is finally given 3. So you know how many n's you are there. There will be n is equals to 2. Are you getting this point? What I'm trying to say? Your time loop will have these many n's. Okay. Suppose you are in a 1D domain and this is x direction, but this is a time direction, then you have a number of n's. Okay. And there will be some t is equals to 3, for which you have to, but this is delta t. You have to reach this 3 through these delta t's. Sum of all these delta t will be 3. Okay. So at n is equals to 0, like that, you have to keep on moving. So you will have those many n's. You are getting this point? Okay. So delta t is known now. Then what about the number of grid points? What about the number of grid points? Now these number of grid points in x direction will be calculated on the basis of what is the length of this domain and how many these points you want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know it. So if there are 7 elements, then there will be how many? Suppose there are elements 1, 2, 3 element, 4, 5, 6, 7 elements. Then how many grid points are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 6 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elements. Then 7 grid points. Okay. So suppose you do that, then 1 by delta x will give you how many? 1 by delta x will give you, I mean that L by delta x, suppose you are getting 6, then you will get 6 for example. But actually number of points are, okay. So number of points will be is equals to this plus 1. Okay, because we are looking at these points. You are getting me? So suppose you have L, first you calculate some n, and that nx will be 1 more than that. So n will be equals to, what is a L given? L is a 1 meter or whatever, and then this 0.2. So this will be 5. Okay. So actually number of points will be 6. Okay. So you have 6 grid points that you come to know. You should know that how many grid points are there, how many t values you have to get into. That you should know. Now when you know that nx is equals to 6, this ti is for, suppose your nx's are like this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So suppose this is I is equals to 1 and this is I is equals to nx. Okay, I is equals to nx. So these are boundary points. Okay, these are boundary points. So I is equals to 2 to I is equals to nx minus 1, means I 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 to 6, this equation should be calculated. And at boundary, the boundary condition will be given. So say at the boundaries, the values are given like t is equals to 0 and t is equals to 0. That is given. So if you write this for n is equals to 0, for first time n is equals to 0, excuse me. for n is equals to 0 and I is equals to 1, your t 1 is equals to 0. For I is equals to 2, your t I means t2, which is n plus 1, is equals to, what was that? U delta t. So these are known values, u delta t, and here you will calculate that a, okay, based on the values given. Okay, now in this case, suppose a is no a is calculated by you. So here the use of initial condition will come. So at n is equals to 0, whatever these values, okay, nth level values will be known values. Okay, nth level values will be known values. So you can calculate a. So this a can be calculated. Okay, and then plus this particular thing also at nth level will be known. So say these values at all these point, the initial temperature is given, and that is some value like 0.2. Okay, so you can substitute these values. Suppose a is like your a is like ti minus 1 divided by delta x, then you substitute those values. What is the ti value? Suppose this is a ith, ti value is 0.2 minus, what is ti minus 1 value? Again 0.2 divided by delta x. Delta x is nothing but 0.2. This will give a0 in the beginning. But later on, once you start calculating t2 n plus 1, these values of a will keep on changing. In the beginning, since all the values ti, I minus 1, ti plus 1, all these values are 0.2 given, they will be initially, maybe they will be 0. Okay, but in later cases, they will be as per these values. Okay, then again for I is equals to 3, you calculate t3. Okay, with the whatever the values, again in that case everything is 0.2. So for this t3 case also, it will be like t3 minus t2. This is like here in this case it is t2 minus t1. This is like t2 minus t1. Okay, t2 minus t1 divided by delta x. In this case, it will be t3 minus t1 delta x when u is greater than 0 case. Okay. So t3, t4, t5, t6 you can calculate. And finally, whatever is your the end point, what is your end point is 7. So I is equals to 7. Here you will have those values. I is equals to 7, you will have t7. T7 is given 0. So accordingly, you will get all the values t1, t2, t3, t up to t7. All these are n plus 1. So all these values you will get for n is equals to 0. It means that in the previous case, in this particular case, all the values of temperature like T1, T1 to T7, okay, all these were 0.2. All these were 0.2. Okay, like suppose this is 2, 3, 4, T4, all these were 0.2. These are according to the initial condition. These were according to initial condition. Now initial condition gave you this particular results. Now the same grid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now here there will be some value. T1 will not change and T7 will not change because those are boundary conditions. So they will be always 0. They should be always 0. But T1 may change, T2 may change, T3, T4, T5, T6. These may change. Okay. So these will be these latest values. These will be actually these values. T2 values will be this value. Okay. And now with this, you will calculate for n is equals to 1. Then again, for n is equals to 1, I is equals to 1, T1, n plus 1 means unknown value will be 0. I is equals to 2, T2, calculate T2. Okay. For I is equals to 3, calculate T3. Similarly, you calculate up to T6 and then finally you calculate for I is equals to 7. That is nothing but I7 is equals to 0. Okay. Now, this became the nth level values for the next level. For n is equals to 2, these are the nth level values, means T1, T2, T3, T4, T5, T6, T7. In this your grid, all these are these values. T1, this T2, T3, and with this values you are going to again calculate. Again you are going to calculate T1, T2 up to T7. How long? How long this n has to be repeated? Till you get t is equals to t plus delta t is equals to 3. Okay. So according to that, according to the problem, given problem, we may find that t is some value. Okay, t may be 5, 6, or and based on that you can have this number of n. Okay, based on that you can find out how many n's will be required in order to reach t is equals to 3. And for that cases you have to keep on doing, and finally you find that n is equals to 7 or n is equals to 8 is the one for which you are going to get those delta t's. Okay. So the meaning is you have to multiply by this 0.2 so as to get some numbers that n to get this time. So this is 3, this is n, so divided by 0.2. Okay. So that will give you n is equals to 15. So n is equals to 15 has to be reached in order to get those values. Okay. So these are the repetitive type of calculations. So you should be able to do, you should be able to do these repetitive calculations for maybe for very small size of these grid points, maybe 4, 5 or 4 to 5 uh, using your calculators. Okay. Although if it moves, in case it goes beyond 6, 7, 8, 10, then the number of calculations or number of time steps are more. Now t is given, very large t is given. In that case, then you have to keep on repeating the process for larger time. So that may not be able to do using calculators. So you will have to write a program, computer program for it to get the answers. But in most of the cases, what I'll be asking in many of the cases, so that you avoid writing program and then you come up with the solution using calculators. Okay, so you should be in a position. Okay, now in for this combined case itself, I have just shown you how you are doing. Okay, on the basis of this magnitude of u, either you are doing ti minus ti minus 1 or ti minus ti plus 1. Okay, so that you can do. Okay, so so this is how you are going to proceed. And suppose it is the n, all these are n plus 1, all these are n plus 1 means it is implicit. So when it is implicit, you have only this known. Okay, you have this only known. So for this particular case, for example, then what it will be, this will be like ti n plus 1. Okay, it is already there. So plus u delta t and whatever this a, that is also now n plus 1, that is also not known, minus alpha, and here also. So let me take in this negative side, this also is n plus 1. Only thing left is ti n. So this particular thing will give you something like matrix, a coefficient matrix, and all ti values. Okay, T1, T2, T3, like that. Ti, and this is a known vector. So it is like Ax is equals to B. So you'll get this kind of coefficient matrix and you will have to solve this. Okay. But we know that, I mean, there are two methods. One is a direct method and another is a indirect method, which is called as iterative method. Okay. So you may be asked either to do with direct method or iterative method. Okay. In the exams. Okay. Iterative methods, you already know that Gauss-Seidel, Gauss-Jordan, that also may be asked, and you might have to do the Gauss-Seidel and Gauss, I mean, matrix manipulation. Okay, or you may be asked to do with without matrix. Okay, like you will have to calculate residuals, and then after calculating residuals and after calculating central coefficients, you can you can change your guess values and improve your guess values and keep on repeating the simulation till you get the solution. Okay, this process is likely good for a computers. This GS, this thing may be given a small matrix, and then you should be in a position to do 3 by 3 matrix or something like 4 by 4, and then you should be able to get the values of t's. Direct methods are directly applicable, like in most of the cases for 1D problem or problem like the second case, the diffusion heat transfer problem with unsteady case, you will get mostly tri-diagonal matrix, tri-diagonal matrix. So for this tri-diagonal matrices, we know that we have this TDMA algorithm, which was a very equations only. Okay. For this tri-diagonal, you have to calculate only those coefficients, and those are like tables. You can make a table of that and just keep on calculating. Okay. So thus the process will not be that much difficult. Since you might not have done the practice, you will be facing problem in solving the solutions. Okay. Understanding is one thing, but at your home, you should be taking these simple cases and just do calculations. Okay, that is a homework part that I will not do in this particular course. Okay, so that is a homework you should always do. Take a small problem, use the method, and try to get the answers. Try to get the answers for very simple cases. And once you do this process manually, you will also understand the whole process concretely. Okay, that is the part of it. Okay, so from this lecture, what do you understand? Suppose there is a particular kind of situation of this type. Okay, so what matters here is the direction of u. Okay, this direction of u matters. Okay, and when I'm considering the u direction, I'm changing the plan for discretization of du dt by dx. Okay, so here this particular method is called as upwinding. Okay, we'll see, we'll always use these words, upwinding method, upwind method. Okay, so upwind means in the direction of the wind. So say velocity is moving in this direction and we are standing here, so we have to pick up the which is coming from that direction. Suppose velocity is moving in direction, you are standing here, then you have to pick up the value from the direction in which from which the wind is coming. So from that name is upwind, like that. So based on the sign of this, you have to take the forward difference or backward difference. Now here you cannot take central difference. Okay, that was a problem. Central difference has a problem, right? We did not took central difference. What was the problem in central difference? If you take this particular problem, I'll just finish. Okay, I'll just say and finish. If you take this this convection equation, in that case, we have seen that if you take central difference, this is unconditionally unstable. Okay, so you cannot take central difference. You cannot take central difference here. Never take central difference. Central difference will not give you solution. So only the thing is either you have to do backward difference or forward difference based on the sign of u, the velocity, convection velocity. And if you take that, it is called as upwind method. Okay, it is called as upwind method. Okay, that's it for today. Tomorrow we'll see the Navier-Stokes equations.